People always say nothing good ever happens after 3 in the morning. I used to laugh at that, you know? I thought it was just one of those things people say to make the night sound more mysterious. But now, when the clock hits 3, I don't laugh anymore. I listen, and I wait. Because ever since that night, I know it's true. Something happens. Something comes. It started about 3 weeks ago. I just moved into this small house on the edge of town. It's old, quiet, the kind of place that feels a little too still. The kind of stillness that makes you realize how loud your own heartbeat is. The first few nights were totally fine, peaceful even, until I started hearing it. A knock. Always 3 knocks. Always at exactly 3 in the morning. At first, I brushed it off. I thought it was kids messing around, or maybe the old pipes settling. Old houses make noise, right? That's what I told myself. But the knocks were always the same, slow, steady, patient. Like whoever or whatever was out there wasn't in any hurry at all. The first night, I ignored it, rolled over and tried to go back to sleep. The second night, I turned up the TV to drown it out. But by the third night, curiosity got the better of me. It was eating at me. So when I heard the knocks, 3 sharp, distinct taps against the wood, I got up. The house was freezing. The air felt heavier than usual, like the atmosphere itself didn't want me moving toward the door. I glanced at the clock on my phone. 3 a.m. Exactly. I remember whispering to myself, "Don't open it. Just don't." But I did anyway. I had to know. I pulled the door open, and there was no one there. Just the night. Still and black, the trees swaying slightly in a wind I couldn't feel. I stepped out onto the porch, scanned the driveway, the yard, nothing. But as I turned to go back inside, I noticed something strange on the welcome mat. There were wet footprints leading right up to my door. Bare feet, small, child-sized, and they stopped right where I was standing. I slammed the door shut and locked it so fast my hand was shaking. I didn't sleep a wink that night. The next morning, as soon as the sun was up, I checked again. The footprints were gone. No sign anyone had ever been there. I tried my best to convince myself it was just a vivid dream, a nightmare brought on by the stress of moving. But deep down, I knew it wasn't. That night, I set up my phone camera facing the door. I told myself it was for peace of mind that I'd wake up, check the footage, and see that nothing had happened. Proof that I was just being paranoid. But when I reviewed the video the next morning, my blood ran cold. I saw something I still can't explain. At exactly 3 a.m., the doorknob turned. Just slightly. Back and forth, like someone was gently testing the lock. Then the knocks came. 3 times. And then a shadow passed by the window next to the door. It wasn't shaped like a person. It was too tall, too thin, and it moved wrong, like it was bending at joints that shouldn't exist. After that, things started happening inside the house. I'd hear soft footsteps in the hallway when I was the only one home. Faint whispering that seemed to come from behind the walls, too quiet to make out the words. And once, when I went to turn off the kitchen light, I saw a reflection in the dark window that wasn't mine, just for a second. By the 5th night, I was utterly terrified. I stopped trying to sleep, kept every single light on, hoping it would keep whatever it was away. And then, as if it knew I was at my breaking point, it stopped knocking. For 3 whole nights, there was nothing. No sound, no shadow. No knocks. I started to let my guard down, to think it was finally over. Maybe it had moved on, till the 4th night. I woke up to the sound of my phone ringing, shattering the silence. I squinted at the screen. 3 a.m. The caller ID said unknown. Every instinct screamed at me not to answer, but I did. My hand just moved on its own. All I heard was static at first, like an old radio. Then, a faint voice whispered through the noise. It said, "Why didn't you open the door tonight?" I froze. The voice. It was my own. Exactly my voice. Then the line went dead. I threw the phone across the room. As it hit the wall, the lights in my bedroom flickered once, then twice. And from downstairs, I heard the sound again. 3 knocks, slow, deliberate, right on the front door. I wanted to run, to hide, but my body wouldn't move. It was like my mind had detached from my limbs. I was watching myself get out of bed, walk down the stairs, and head to the door, all without wanting to. My hand reached for the knob. I felt the cold metal turn, even though I knew I wasn't the one turning it. The door creaked open, and there I was, standing outside, looking back at myself. My reflection, my copy, was smiling at me from the porch. Its eyes were too dark, like empty pits. Its grin was too wide, stretching unnaturally across its face. It whispered, and the voice was mine, but not mine. You opened it. Now we're the same. And then it stepped forward, crossing the threshold. The next thing I remember, it was morning. I was lying on the floor inside the house. The front door was shut and locked. Everything looked normal, except for one thing. There were muddy, bare footprints leading from the front door. To my bedroom, I don't remember falling asleep. But when I woke up later that day, I forced myself to check the camera footage again. I had to know. The video showed the door opening at 3 a.m. Someone steps inside. It looks exactly like me, wearing the same clothes I'd been wearing, moving the same way. Except I never went outside. Since then, I've been noticing small things. My reflection seems to lag for a split second in mirrors, just slightly behind my own movements. Sometimes when I speak, I hear a faint echo that doesn't quite match my lips. And last night, when I checked my phone, there was a new voicemail. It was my voice again. It said, "Don't open the door tonight. I'm not done with you yet." Now, every night, I hear the knocks again. 3 of them, right on time. I don't go near the door anymore. But sometimes, in the dead of night, I hear it creak open on its own. And every morning, there's a fresh trail of dirt on the floor as if something came inside while I was asleep and something else went out. I used to think I could tell when I was awake and when I was dreaming. Now, I'm not so sure. Sometimes I wake up standing at the door, my hand on the knob, just waiting for the clock to hit 3 a.m. And sometimes I wonder if maybe the one who stayed inside isn't really me anymore. So if you ever hear 3 knocks on your door in the middle of the night, don't open it. Please, just don't. Because once you do, you'll never know for sure which side of the door you really belong on again. Thanks for listening to my story. If you have any chilling experiences of your own, share them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Stay safe out there.